Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rachel Montalbano, and I'm the career consultant in the College of Engineering. And today I'm going to walk through attending a virtual career fair, everything from preparation, actually going to the fair, and afterwards, and talk about how it's different or similar to a face-to-face fair. In particular, in this presentation, we're going to focus on the virtual career fairs this fall taking place on the Handshake virtual career fair platform. There will be other virtual career fairs at MSU this fall taking place on a platform called Easy Virtual. However, this presentation will not go over that format. But if you do need information on that format, I encourage you to check out Handshake. There are a number of workshops being offered by Career Services that will talk about Easy Virtual. So first I want to talk about the three major College of Engineering fall recruitment events. Those are Engineering Exchange, and that runs September 11th to September 18th, but there are different days and times depending on your major. So, and you are not limited to just attend for the day of your major. You can attend however many you would like. Also Partners Showcase, which is our partner recruiting companies, and then Engineered in the Mitten, which are companies recruiting from the state of Michigan for engineering talent. There are a number of other fairs happening on campus this fall. Some of them might be of interest to engineers, construction management. If you're a civil major, for example, if you are an applied engineering science major, you might want to go to the business fair. So definitely check out Handshake for the full list of fall recruiting events, and then pay close attention to which platform they're using so that you can plan appropriately. But I will tell you, all of the fairs hosted by the College of Engineering this fall will be on Handshake. So we're a couple weeks out from the first fair. What kinds of things should you be doing right now? The first thing you should do is register for the fairs that you want to attend on Handshake. This is especially important for the ones utilizing the Handshake career fair platform, but it's really important for any of the fairs so that you can receive notifications of new employers and any other changes that might be happening with the fair. You ensure that you're up to date by registering for them. The next thing you want to do is start planning out your virtual fair experience. One of the main ways that a Handshake virtual fair is different than a face-to-face fair is that you will need to schedule everything. There's no getting in a virtual line. There's no walking up to a virtual booth. Everything is pre-scheduled through sessions, and we'll talk more about the differences in sessions later. But what you need to be doing right now is start looking through the employers that plan to come to the fair and who you might want to speak with, and then start scheduling those sessions. So the two types of sessions, there are a one-on-one session. These are 10-minute chats with just you and a recruiter. And then there are group sessions. These are 30-minute sessions, much more like an info session with a number of participants speaking with that recruiter, learning more about the company, and connecting on potential opportunities. The next thing you want to do is update your Handshake profile. You want to make sure that you have some very specific fields filled in. Employers can set restrictions on their one-on-one sessions and qualifications. So you want to be sure that you have all your information in so that you can potentially match those qualifications. So fields you want to make sure you have filled in on Handshake are your major, your GPA, school year, grad date, and work authorization. Additionally, you want to make sure that you have your profile privacy set to either community access, that will be needed for group sessions and also will work for one-on-one, or employer access, which is the minimum that you need for a one-on-one session. I'll provide a link to a document at the end of this presentation that will give you much more information on how to change your privacy settings if you need assistance with that. The next thing you want to do is make sure your resume is updated, and then you want to upload it to Handshake and make it your default resume. Recruiters can access your resume both before and after sessions if you have signed up with them. So definitely you want to be sure that the correct resume is the one that they are seeing. And then you, as I mentioned before, you want to make sure that you have your privacy settings as such that they can access that resume. On another note, we do have resume books available right now on Handshake. So if you are looking for a spring co-op or a summer internship, or if you're part of a number of engineering student orgs, there are resume books out there for you to join. So make sure that you also apply to those with your resume for recruiters to find you that way. We will be sending those weekly to recruiters starting next week. And we do have resume workshops scheduled if you need assistance on your resume. Next thing, spend some time getting familiar with the format and technology. I'm going to share more links at the end of this presentation that will allow you to watch some videos, read some more articles about how things will work in addition to what I show you today. So please don't hesitate to make sure you're very familiar with the format and the technology and that you're ready to go the day of. Also set yourself a calendar reminder. We all know how easy it is to lose track of days and times in this virtual world that so many of us are living in. So set a calendar reminder so that you don't forget a session or don't forget about the fair. And then lastly, update your LinkedIn profile so that you're ready to connect with anyone that you speak with at the fair. And if you need assistance on your LinkedIn profile, we are offering a workshop on August 27th at 9 p.m. So with that, let me jump over to Handshake and show you how some of this will look. So this will be what you see when you log in as a student on Handshake. You want to click on Events. And I'm going to go ahead and search for the Engineering Exchange that's coming up. And I am listed as a computer science major in Handshake, so I'm going to come down to that specific session happening on September 17th. Now you can see I've already registered for this, but this is the button you would want to click when you first get in here to make sure that you are registered for the fair. Once you're registered, I can start looking through all of these career fair details. If I scroll to the bottom, I can see the employers attending. So there are currently 42 employers registered for this particular session, the computer science and data science session. And then you can start filtering down those employers for what you're looking for. So for this purpose, I'm just going to filter by internship. And I can start reading up on the employers here. This will give you a short description of the employers, tell you the types of positions, school years, whether they require work authorization, but in general, it tells you what they're looking for. So this gives you a quick glimpse if it might be a company you're interested in. I certainly encourage you to go look at job descriptions, read more about the company on their website to get a full idea if this is a company that you want to meet with. So once you have an idea of the companies that you would like to meet with, you want to go back to the main page for the event, and then you can see these other tabs here and click on available sessions. And I will tell you, don't panic if you see employer has no sessions available. That doesn't mean that you've missed sign up for this employer. We are working with employers as we speak to get their sessions in there. So please continue to check back, as there will definitely be sessions being added over the next couple of weeks. So I'm going to scan down to one I know has some in here. So Hemlock Semiconductor, you can see they have both a group session being offered as well as some one-on-one sessions. So if I click on the one-on-one session, then it lets me choose my time, and I can show all available times all the way through the fair. I can go ahead and select the time that I would want, and then I would need to hit confirm. I'm not going to do that in this instance. I don't want to take a spot away from a student, but that's what you would do. And then when you come back to the main page, you can see on the side here, on the right-hand side, it will list all of your sessions. Also, you can toggle to the tab labeled Your Sessions, and this will list out all of the sessions that you have signed up for. There is no limit to the number of sessions that you can sign up for in a career fair as long as they don't overlap and conflict. Additionally, this is the page you're going to come back to the day of the fair, and you will see a button next to your session asking you to join the session. So everything will take place within this area of Handshake and then open up the different windows for you to participate in the fair the day of. So let's go back to my presentation and let's talk a little bit about how to prepare for this fair versus a face-to-face fair. We already talked about starting to research the companies. Now that you've signed up for them and you have them on your schedule, you want to go much deeper in your research. You want to understand what they're about, look for recent news items about them, look at their job descriptions, think about how your skills and experiences fit in with that company so that you're prepared to discuss that, plan out questions you want to ask them, do all of that really good career fair research that you're used to doing for a face-to-face. Additionally, you want to apply to positions in advance and tailor your resume to those positions when you apply. You don't need to worry about that for your generic resume on Handshake, but certainly as you apply, you want to tailor your resume as much as possible to those positions. And then next thing is throw your elevator pitch out the window. I know that seems crazy for a career fair, but for this type of format, an elevator pitch really won't work. They already have your resume. They've already seen that you've signed up, so they know what year you are, your major, your GPA, all of that stuff. they already know. So you're going to jump much further ahead in the conversation than in a traditional career fair. This will probably feel much more like a screening or early interview experience as opposed to a first interaction at a career fair. So use that research you've done, talk about the positions that you've applied for, that you're interested in, talk about goals you have and how those fit in with the company and the position, and then weave in your past experiences and your skills and use those questions that you've prepared. Next, plan out your location. So you want to have a plain background without any distractions, also no windows and good lighting. You want it to be quiet with no interruptions or background noise. If possible, it's great to lock your doors so a roommate or a pet or something doesn't interrupt you. And then you want to make sure that you have really good internet connection and that your microphone and your camera work. Hopefully you know all those things from being virtual last spring and this summer. But again, make sure your camera and microphone are working. And you're also going to need to allow Handshake to access your microphone and camera. So your browser will prompt that, but you just want to make sure you have that set up ahead of time. So then the day of, the types of things that you should be doing is you want to make sure that you are dressed either smart casual, which we consider golf course attire, khakis and a polo, button-up shirt, blouse for girls. So that's smart casual, or professionally if you feel better with that. You want to make sure all your devices are charged so that you're not dealing with any low battery issues. You want to make sure that you turn off your phone, your TV, or anything that could be distracting or making noise. And then I also recommend that you stand if possible during the fair. That helps your focus, it helps your voice projection, and it also helps put the camera at a better face-to-face angle. And then if needed, put some sticky notes around your computer frame with some of the questions that you wanted to ask or things that you wanted to talk about from your research. They won't see those, so there's no reason that you can't go ahead and have those little prompts for yourself around the screen of your computer frame. I do also want to mention in regards to your dress, you might be asking, well, why does it matter if it's virtual that I'm dressed up? The reason is, for one thing, it's going to put you in the right frame of mind. If you're dressed professionally, you're going to act more professionally as opposed to laying on your couch in your sweatpants. But then also in Handshake, employers have the option to use audio, video, or the chat feature. So there's a very, very good chance that you're going to be using a video interaction at one point throughout the virtual fair. So definitely be prepared for that and be dressed for that. Next, during the fair, you want to just follow your schedule. There's no booths to walk up to. There's nothing like that. Just follow the schedule that you've created and make sure that you are prompt and early to those interactions so that you don't risk being late. So you log into Handshake, go to those sessions that I showed you, and then you click the Join Session button from that screen. Additionally, don't be afraid to add any openings the day of for extra practice. The same way we would encourage you to walk up to a booth that doesn't have a line during the career fair, don't be afraid to look for any open sessions that remain and thinking about adding one of those to give yourself extra practice, do some quick research on the company, and then engage with them. So definitely take advantage of that the same way that you would doing some extra practice at a regular career fair. Next, when you're having video interactions, make sure you're looking at the lens so that it looks like eye-to-eye contact. And then make sure that you know the next steps and get the name and contact information of who you spoke with. We don't always know who you might have spoken with. So Joe from General Motors, we might not know who that actually is for you to follow up with. So definitely encourage you to get that contact information, get that name, and then make sure you know the next steps. If they need you to follow up with anything via email, if they need you to apply if you haven't already, just make sure what they need, make sure that you know what they need from you so that you can follow up accordingly. And then after the fair, make sure you send some thank you notes via email. Hopefully you've gotten that contact information. At the very least, send that thank you note via LinkedIn. But a lot of times recruiters are just alumni who have a different job during the day. They might not necessarily be human resources. So definitely make sure you reach out and thank them for speaking with you, for providing you that information, and continuing that conversation with them. Also connect with them via LinkedIn. Apply to positions if you haven't done that prior to the fair, and then follow up on any of those requests that they asked of you, and make sure that you do all these things within the couple days following the fair so that it's done in a timely manner. So with that, here are some of the additional resources that I mentioned. Handshake has put together some wonderful support resources for students. So that first link is Handshake's Guide to Attending a Fair, and there's a number of links additionally within that article as well as videos. So I definitely recommend that you check that out. Then there's a video of what sessions will look like and how to join them. It goes over both one-to-one sessions and group sessions. You'll first see it from the employer perspective, and then they switch over to the student. So you can fast forward in the video to the student example. And then lastly, I talked about setting those profile privacy options so that employers can find you. So definitely recommend you check out that article to make sure that you have your profile set in a way that employers can view everything. Thank you.